Hey guys, it's smeefu, and today I have something very special. This is genuinely what I believe to be the best build possible to solo climb the ranks in the new ranked mode. This build is going to have you taking walkers this fast as early as 10k souls, and throughout the game you're going to be an absolute powerhouse. Later in the game you'll see, like this, you're going to be taking the base and taking on multiple players yourself on your own, forcing the enemies to dedicate resources to defending permanently all game. You're going to be a huge nuisance. In team fights, you're going to be incredibly strong. In boss room, you're going to be incredibly strong. Base defense, base push, every single part of the game this build excels at. You're going to be taking every single objective as fast as you can possibly think. There is no one who takes objectives faster than this build. But without further ado, please like, subscribe, and comment down below what videos you'd like to see from me in the future. But in the meantime, enjoy the video. So guys, to start off this build, the first item we are going to buy is 100% always going to be monster rounds. McGinnis is extremely oppressive in lane because she can push your wave, she can wall you off, and she can isolate you from your teammate, especially in duo lanes. This is very potent. So monster rounds is just going to give us that extra super fast clear against NPCs and the minions, and allow us to push wave and take our guardian very early in the game. Now, the idea of this build is to take guardians very early, rotate, help your teammates take their guardians very early by, walling off the guardian. Say that's the guardian and the player's actually behind it. You're going to be melting guardians when you're rotating with this build. Monster rounds is a must-have for early game. It's also going to increase your farm speed and allow you to, snowball a lot harder. Then we go to basic mag just to get a huge ammo boost. Since our base ammo is massive already, the 26% base ammo is going to do a lot for us. Plus, the extra weapon damage is really nice. Again, we're going for pushing extremely hard. We're going for huge beams, extremely good damage. Once we've ramped up our gun here, it's so dangerous for anyone to be anywhere near us, especially if we're stood on our heel. Because at this point, we're going to have the plus 35% fire rate. So the DPS is huge already at this point. Then I like to pick up extra charge just to get one extra turret. Now, this is not a turret build, but this is going to allow you to place 2 turrets with only a 3 seconds in between them. Now, in a pinch in lane, you can run into the Veil. So this is the Veil in lane. You can get your heal down and you can get 2 turrets. And anyone comes in here, they're asking for trouble. Another thing this is very, very useful for is clearing jungle camps. At around 5 or 6 minutes, I think, is it? When the first jungle spawns, the tier 2 jungle camps, you're going to go in there, you'll clear 1, you get your turret down, you'll clear 2, get your turret down, run back to lane, and your 2 turrets are going to kill the last tier 2 mob, 100%. So it's going to increase your jungle speed very, very fast, at the same time as allowing you to, clear troopers, or set up little choke points where enemies can't really push you. Extra charge is great value this early. I find it really hard not to buy it. Has so much use just because of being able to put 2 turrets down in such quick succession, even though it's not a turret build. Then I like to go extra health just to be a little bit more tanky in lane because we haven't obviously got any green items yet. Maybe you would have already bought a healing right if you need to. Healing right is something I like to buy universally on all heroes. If we're getting, super hard pushed in lane. But you shouldn't really need it with Medicinal Spectre and Spectral Wall. You have very good holding and pushing power in lane. You should be fine. So I like to go extra health. And then I like to bump my DPS up even further with Swift Striker. Now, at this point in the game, I'm going to have a few levels. These are the points I like to go. And the DPS level at this point is just insane. No one is coming anywhere near you, and you're going to absolutely shred objectives. You're going to shred jungle camps, and you're going to snowball out of control. Swift Striker is the best value for money DPS increase in the whole game. And on top of that, you are getting plus 10% ammo, which again is great for McGinnis, as she has such high base ammo, and the minus 5% bullet resist doesn't really affect us because we already start with 15% bullet resist. Then I want to increase my damage even more. I want to go Combat Barrier. Combat Barrier is going to make you a lot tankier early game. And it's also going to give you a huge damage boost. 22% weapon damage while shielded, plus 6% fire rate is a huge DPS increase, on top of 14% base health for just being a tier 2 item. This item is imbalanced early game, extremely powerful. Again, we're just pushing our damage numbers through the roof. Then I'll go something like sprint boots, just so we can, move around the map a bit faster, get to other lanes quicker, get to jungles faster, etc. A bit more health regen. It's just a nice item to have. And then we're going to move straight on to Intensifying Magazine. Now that we have Intensifying Magazine, if we haven't already taken every Guardian on the map, it's going to be very, very easy to. Because Intensifying Magazine is just a ridiculous amount of damage to have this early, especially when you have a mag this big. You will genuinely, at this point in the game, kill walkers in one mag. You will kill a walker from full health in one mag. I'll put a clip on screen right now. So at this point in this game, you'll see I have a very similar build to what I have here, just bullet lifesteal as well. But I have 3k unspent. And you'll see that I'm going to get my damage amp, put my fire rate buff down on a turret, fire one single mag at this walker, and it is gone. The Ivy tried her best to defend, but she had no chance. And having this sort of power to kill walkers this early in the game, that fast, just makes you an absolute menace to the enemy team. Anyone dies on a lane with their lane pushed, that's it, their walker's gone. If they commit too many people to one side of the map, that's it, their walker's gone. If there are any guardians still standing, you're going to go over with your team, you're going to wall behind it, you can backdoor it at this point in the game. So fast. You are just an objective killing monster, and you're also extremely hard to 1v1 because of this next item that I'm going to build. So I probably wouldn't have healing right here unless I really needed it. But the next item I would build is Bullet Lifesteal. Bullet Lifesteal is obviously going to be extremely good for a McGinnis gun build, especially when we're dealing, so much gun damage. Just a crazy amount of healing when we're stood on our heal as well. At the same time as well, you're also going to be healing from objectives, right? So it doesn't matter if people are trying to kill you. Early in the game, you can sacrifice your life to kill a walker or some guardians if you need to, because you're just going to lifesteal so much off them. Very hard to 1v1 because of this, and again, just incredible sustain. Now, at this point, we're going to have flex slots. This build is going to be a very, very flex slot reliant build. You're going to have to rely on flex slots, and that's because you are the person who's going to be getting the flex slots for your team. You have to be able to execute the game plan of this build for it to work, or you simply won't have the slots for the items to keep scaling your gun and keep snowballing through the game. At this point, if you do not have a flex slot, which you should have one at least, you will sell monster rounds to buy it. But for the purpose of the video, for what you should have, I'll add the flex slots. And at this point, we're going to buy Tesla bullets. Now, Tesla bullets is an item I usually despise. But on McGinnis, since you're shooting so much ammo per mag, you have such a high fire rate, and you don't really have the most reliable way to proc the next item, Bullet Resist Shredder. Tesla bullets is actually great, and it's also very good for clearing jungle camps on a McGinnis build that focuses on gun. But now that you have Tesla bullets and Bullet Resist Shredder, you are just absolutely disgusting. You are formidable. The damage is insane. That's 5,500 damage in one mag that fast. Now you're going to be putting this down onto players. You're going to be putting this down onto walkers. You catch anyone out with your wall, they die. There is almost nothing you can do this early in the game against a build like this. No one's going to have metal skin. Return fire can be a problem if someone else is just as fed as you, but I would just advise you to avoid them. But at this point in the game, you should be extremely fed, and you should be just able to run down anyone and just kill them, and you'll be able to take objectives pretty much uncontested. As if you are, if you're pushing a lane, they can't only send one person to you. You can create infinite space for your team, because at this point, they have to send multiple people to you, or they're just going to die, no matter who they send. So here we have another walker kill, but this time we have Tesla bullets and Bullet Resist Shredder as well, and you'll see how much faster this walker is going to drop. It's absolutely incredible. It's genuinely like 4 seconds of shooting at the walker, maybe even less, and it's just gone. And this poor Mirage, he's 9k below me. He just never stands a chance. Then the next purchase I like to make is Quicksilver Reload. Quicksilver Reload is just going to make your jungling a lot more consistent. It's going to make killing walkers more consistent. If people run up on you when you're out of ammo, you have a quick reload. I put it on my turret, of course, as Quicksilver Reload doesn't actually proc anymore if you have full ammo. So when you're pushing a walker and you put your first turret down and your heal like that, it's not going to proc Quicksilver Reload. And then when your turret comes back up and you're out of ammo, you're going to have a reload. But the main thing that I like about this is that for McGinnis, you have to charge up your gun, right? For it to actually benefit from all your fire rate buffs and to get the max DPS that you're capable of. So having to reload is really bad. It means that mid-fight, you're again going to have to charge up your gun before you're doing max DPS. So having this, quick reload when you need it is just great for so many reasons on McGinnis. We'll probably sell this very, very late game if it gets there. But for now, it's very good. And again, it's even more fire rate for us. So, it's just a great item for this build. Next thing I want to talk about is something very important. Toxic bullets. If you are against heroes that heal a lot and they're causing problems, say a 7 that's fed, an Infernus that's fed, you now have to buy this item. You literally have to. If you don't have this item, you will probably lose. You will almost 100% lose a 1v1 to Infernus because he's going to negate all the healing from this. He's going to negate your bullet lifesteal, and you're not going to negate his healing. So you have to buy toxic bullets if you want to win a game against these heroes. So for the build, we'll buy this. If you're struggling for slots for it, you sell monster rounds. At this point, selling monster rounds is no problem. We already have a crazy amount of weapon damage and fire rate. Monster rounds, we don't need that much anymore at all. Here, I'm going to either do one of two things. You can upgrade your mag to Titanic mag, and you have 171 bullets. But I like to do this a little bit later, so I keep the basic mag for now. 100 bullets is enough at this point in the game, in my opinion. Now I like to build movement speed to be able to run players down and control team fights extremely hard and push things faster too. So the first thing I would go for is Fleetfoot. You'll have noticed how painfully slow McGinnis moves when she is shooting. Well, now that is gone because of Fleetfoot. At the same time as well, Fleetfoot is going to grant you 30% temporary ammo, which is actually a huge amount on this hero because the ammo pool is so big. So I'm going to pop Fleetfoot and boom, 30 extra bullets. So Fleetfoot is extremely good for chasing people down, for being able to just move around and strafe while shooting. I can't really play this hero late game without this item. You feel like it's too hard to finish off kills. It's impossible to get away, and you're just a sitting duck when you're shooting without this item. So I definitely recommend buying it. Then the next item we're going to go for is Heroic Aura. Now, Heroic Aura is another orange item, a very flex slot heavy build. You'll see how this works out later, though. It does fine with slot management. It's no problem. It's just you may not have the flex slots at this point, and if you don't, that's fine. You skip it for now, and you go for Fortitude. We're basically just going for movement speed here, and even more weapon damage and health, so that our health percentage heal is even stronger on our Medicinal Spectre. Our damage is stronger, our movement speed is stronger, so we're going to be able to catch people, we're going to be able to run and gun, and it's very, very hard for people to outrun us at this point and survive all the damage we're putting out, especially with toxic bullets. If you do have enough flex slots at this point, you are going to pick up Heroic Aura though, that's 100% sure. But now we'll talk about the next item I want to buy. And that is absolutely 100% of the time always going to be selling sprint boots for Unstoppable. At this point in the game, the only thing that's going to be able to stop you is CC. CC is not going to be your friend. You're not going to be able to get your heal down. You're not going to be able to run and gun people. So Unstoppable is absolutely huge. Again, a huge health buff, which is basically an indirect buff to your third talent on Medicinal Spectre. We have a lot of health at this point in the build. So having Unstoppable is going to allow us to run through teams. We're going to run at them. We're going to pop Heroic, Fleetfoot, Unstoppable, and there's not much they can do. Once you've picked your target, especially because you have toxic bullets, they're going to die. Also, an extremely powerful tool for mid-boss. It's the best item in the game for mid-boss, especially because at this point in the build, you're 100% going to have the stun. So on the Rejuvenator, you're going to hit your stun, you're going to have your Unstoppable up, and it's very, very hard to contest this at mid-boss, especially when this heal is down in the middle for teammates with some turrets shooting fast. Then I want to save up for our last active item and another huge health buff. You can either spend a flex slot on this, or you can sell a combat barrier. It's going to be Colossus. A gigantic health increase from 2,800 to 3,600 just from one item. It's going to give us some melee damage and some weapon damage, but the main thing we're getting it for is the health and the active. The health is just, again, another buff to this. It scales off of your max health, and the bullet resist and spirit resist is huge since we are not actually building much at all in the build. We have 23% bullet resist. Unstoppable isn't giving us spirit resist anymore. They changed it. So we don't actually really have any spirit resist in the build. Now, an option you can go is instead of fortitude, when you have extra health, you can swap it out for spirit armor if you're facing a lot of spirit damage dealers, and then obviously upgrade to improved spirit armor later. For now, just the purposes of this build, we'll do that, since it's probably going to happen quite often, but Fortitude is extremely strong in this build because of the way your health scales and the movement speed that we're going to, be aiming to get. But now with this build, when we pop Colossus, we have 52% and 67% on top of an insane heal, a lot of bullet lifesteal. We have the 20% from Heroic Aura and the 28% from bullet lifesteal. We are extremely tanky, slowing everyone around us while running at Mach 10 whilst unstoppable. Just an incredible powerhouse. Here you could 100% want to pick up Titanic Mag. People are going to be more healthy. You're going to need to be shooting a lot more, and you're going to need your mag to go much further. You can also get this a little bit earlier if you want. You can get it before Unstoppable, or you can get it before Colossus, whatever. But it's extremely strong in this build, especially because it's going to give us some extra spirit resist. So now when we pop Colossus, we're at 71% and 52%, which is just incredibly good. But now after this, we have to talk about our cooldowns. We have two pretty lengthy cooldowns here on Colossus and Unstoppable, especially Unstoppable. And our heal isn't up permanently at all. It's got a 10-second duration and 31 seconds cooldown. So we're going to pick up improved cooldown. It's going to give us our heal a lot more uptime, almost 50% uptime. It's up for 12 seconds, down for 26 seconds. And also it's going to reduce the cooldown on Unstoppable by 10 seconds and Colossus a little bit as well. Just a great item to have. It's going to allow us to put turrets down more often, throw walls. We really need the cooldown at this point in the game. There's not really much else you can spend your money on. Now, the next point is if the game is still going on, here you have two options. You have two paths. If you're dealing enough damage with your gun, then you want to leave gun items alone for a little bit. And the path you would take is upgrading your turrets. The first thing I would do is, if you have the flex slot, buy extra spirit. If you don't, you sell Quicksilver Reload for the extra spirit. This is just because Medicinal Spectre, everything on it is scaling with spirit. The duration and the radius is scaling with spirit power. So at this point in the game, we're looking to buff our turret's damage, and we're looking to buff our Medicinal Spectre's duration and radius. So we will start off the path of Extra Spirit, Improved Spirit, and Boundless Spirit. We're going to go Extra Spirit first, then Rapid Recharge to get 3 turrets. Now we're able to place 3 turrets very fast. They're gonna shoot extremely fast and do an insane amount of damage. At this point in the game, having a gun this strong and also utility this strong is very stupid. It's very hard to take base against this hero. It's very hard to take mid-boss against this hero. And it's very hard to defend against this hero if you build it this way. Then we're going to go for Improved Spirit, Boundless Spirit, and then Superior Cooldown. Superior Cooldown you can either put on your Medicinal Spectre. Right now it's only got 5 seconds downtime. Or you can put it on your mini turrets to get them out more often. I would probably put it on mini turret, as you only have 1 second downtime now anyway if you put it on mini turret on the heal. So it's definitely the best way to go. But there is another approach. So if we go back to what I had before, where I had no Improved Spirit and I had Quicksilver Reload. If you need more damage at this point, you go crippling headshot 100%. It's going to increase the damage your turrets are going to do when you buff them, and it's going to increase all your gun damage. It's going to help your team out a ton. Or you can go Frenzy. These two are the best options in my opinion. Frenzy is just going to make you ridiculously tanky when you get to low health. Now I have 55%, 52%. Colossus 71%. And my DPS is through the roof because of the buffs from Frenzy. So Frenzy is extremely broken on this hero. I think it's probably the best item you can go here. But if you need more damage specifically and not more survivability, then Crippling Headshot will be a better option. So for me, it is out of Frenzy and Crippling Headshot for sure. And then you will go in to do exactly what I said a second ago, where you will go Frenzy, sell your Quicksilver Reload, get extra Spirit, go Rapid Recharge, go Improved Spirit, Boundless Spirit, Superior Cooldown. And here we have basically the final build. There's not much else you can do to improve this. If the game somehow goes on further, even though you're an absolute objective killing monster, if it somehow goes on further, you can sell Bullet Lifesteal for either Soul Rebirth or Leech, maybe even Inhibitor. You can sell Swift Striker, and you can pick up Escalating Resilience for even more tankiness. I don't even want to see how tanky I'll become now, actually. Let's witness. 86% bullet resist. It's just ridiculous. But this is going to be your end game. There's not really going to be anything ever better than this. Surely the game is ending at this point. I don't feel the need to, expand the build any further. So what I'll close it out with is talking about the upgrade order. The first thing I'm taking in lane 100% is Wall. Wall is very important. If the opponents dare to push up in lane, you wall them off, wall one off from their teammate, and you and your duo kill them extremely fast. So Wall is what I'm taking first. Then I'm taking Heal, and then I'm taking Turret. Wall is getting the point first to amplify damage and remove stamina from the enemies. Then Heal is getting an upgrade for 35% fire rate on units being healed. This is just insanely imbalanced. A huge DPS increase to be able to get this early. A 15% damage amplification on top of a 35% fire rate bonus whilst being healed. Like, are you kidding me? You can't contest this in lane. You literally cannot contest this. It's disgusting. Then we're going to go for the cooldown on Heal, the cooldown on Wall, and then we're going to go for Medicinal Spectres. 5% max health regen per second, because at this point we'll have enough health for this to be doing a lot. Now you have two choices. What I have in the build right now in game is add a 1-second stun to enemies being hit by Spectral Wall. This is because it's incredibly powerful for mid boss and just getting people off you that are trying to run you down. And that 1-second stun can allow you to, ramp up your weapon and be back in the fight, flip things in your favor. But there is the other option of, getting some turret damage here if you don't feel like you need the stun. And once you've got this damage, even if you haven't built all these items yet, it's still going to be, a significant amount of damage on your turrets, especially when they're sat in your Medicinal Spectre and you pop Heroic Aura on them. But then, whichever one you do regardless, if you do this first, you're then going to max your turrets. But if you do turrets first, you're then going to max your Wall, and ult is last. This is not an ult build. Your ult doesn't become strong in this build at all until late game, and even then, it's not as strong as the gun and just spamming turrets. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I have a build set up here in game, pretty much everything you need to know, but just watch the video back if there's anything I haven't explained too well. I think I've done pretty good though. But to find it, just go on Browse Builds, Public, and type in smeefu. And you should find this. YT smeefu McGinnis Win Rate Enjoyer. Please do enjoy the build. Let me know in the comments how you're getting on with it and if it's working out for you. It's been absolutely a blast for me playing this build, and I'm going to be playing it a lot more. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.